Oh, hold on, you're off center. That might piss me off. There, no, 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 wait. No, you're good.
I'm just moving back. Or my dog or whatever at the time. No, we didn't have a dog then. There we go. Oh. Okay. Hello, family, friends, people of the internet. Thank you for tuning in to my video. It has been a hot freaking minute since I've seen you guys on my channel. I've been kind of MIA for like the past month. I've just had a lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of schoolwork going on. Today is finally my last day of school for the summer, so lit. So I figured since it's the first video I've made in over a month, I would do a story time of my first paranormal experience. And I also want you to comment down below if at the end of this video you want to see more of these and I can make it like a series, because I have plenty of stories dealing with the paranormal. We're just gonna get right on into the video. That was a terrible fucking snap. That hurt my finger. So this all started when I want to say I was like 7 or 8 years old. In my house, we had a basement and then like the first floor and then the second floor. When I was younger, my parents used to be in my room that I'm in now, and I used to be in their room. So I used to be up on the very top floor. Now up on the top floor, you would walk up the stairs and there's a long hallway, and on the right there's like a, it's not a walk-in closet, but it's like a really big closet that takes up most of the hallway. And then you keep walking, and to the left you have a little bathroom in there, which at the time the bathroom didn't work because we've always had trouble with the upstairs bathroom. So at the time the bathroom didn't work, and then you walk in straight and it's the room.
I remember specifically watching Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the very first horror movie I've ever seen in my entire life, Nightmare on Elm Street. And obviously now didn't make an effect on me, but when you're like 6 or 7 and you watch a movie about somebody coming through your dreams to kill you, it's kind of a scary thing.
After watching that, I was completely mortified, and I would sleep with a hammer by my bed. I was upstairs and it was probably, I want to say maybe like 9 o'clock at night, and I was going to bed. I should have been in bed hours before, but obviously I was a rebel back then and I didn't go to bed at the time that I should have went to bed. I can remember specifically me going to bed.
And I had a dream that in my house, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street was walking around in my downstairs. And obviously at the time I was really young and it scared me, and I just couldn't, I woke up really, really fast, and it scared me because it just showed him walking around. It didn't show him like killing my parents or killing like my younger brother. It was really scary to me, just even knowing that there could be somebody else in my house, even if they were just walking around. It just scared the living shit out of me.
Fast forward a couple hours and I wake up after this nightmare happened. I wake up, I clutch my hammer because I was just so like out of it that I actually thought it was happening. The stairs going up to my room, even to this day, are extremely, extremely creaky. And like there is no quiet way to walk up those stairs. So, and I have to sleep with a fan on. I had my fan on full blast. I could hear somebody walking up the stairs. Now, at the time, it was maybe, I want to say, 2:33 in the morning. I had just figured maybe, you know, it's my parents, maybe they heard like a creak upstairs and they thought that I was like awake or something. And I mean, I jolted out of bed, so I'm sure they probably heard the bed kind of creak. I hear someone coming up the stairs, so I'm like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. So I was facing the opposite way.
Now the way that my bed was in that room is that if I was facing to the right, if I was laying to the right, I could see down the hallway and somebody coming up the stairs. If I was facing to the left, I could see the wall over here in the window that would point out to like my backyard.
I was laying to the left towards like the windows that would point out to my backyard. And I just was pretending to sleep because I honestly thought it was my parents. I thought, oh, you know, they're just gonna come up and see, and I don't want them to know that I was awake or whatever, you know, because I don't want to get in trouble. Normal kid stuff like that. It comes up all the way to the top of the stairs, and I hear the noise stop at the top of the stairs. Now I was like, okay, I'm like, that's a little weird. So I turn back around and nobody's there. I go down the hallway and I check down the stairs and there's nobody there.
I check through the clothes that are in the closet, nobody's there. I check in the bathroom, nobody's there. So I'm like, okay. So then I go down the stairs and check in my parents' room. They're both sleeping.
So I check in the room next door, which used to be my brother's room, and he's fast asleep. So I'm like, that makes no sense. So I go back upstairs and I don't go back to bed. So maybe about 10 or 15 minutes later, I hear the sound of like clothes hangers on like one of those rods. Like, you know, like if you have a closet and you put like a clothing hanger on like a rod that you have that like holds all of your clothes on clothing hangers, and like you move it, it kind of makes that sound. I can't really describe what the sound is, but it makes that like weird sound. I could hear that like ruffling. It was like somebody was like literally like going through my clothes and looking. So I'm like, that is very, very funky. So I turn around. I see this black mass that's just there. There's no face. There was no, like, I couldn't make out any feet, legs, hands, arms, whatever. No face, no hair, nothing. It was almost like it was just a cloud. I started freaking out because I thought there was a fire in the house. But then it registered in my head, if there was a fire in the house, the fire alarms would be going off. So then I started freaking out because I was like, what the hell is going on right now? Immediately turned back around and looked to the left out the window. And of course grabbed the hammer because I'm like, if there is somebody in this house that wants to come and try and murder me, 6 or 7-year-old me is gonna beat him up with a hammer. I end up not hearing anything for a while. So I turn back around and I can see the black shadow sitting there. Like, it literally was just like there. It was the weirdest thing, and I'm like, that's extremely, extremely odd. Extremely odd. And I was like, hello? Like, I was like, hello, like, is there anybody there? No answer. So I closed my eyes, pulled the covers over my head like you would see in like a horror movie or you would normally do. Ended up happening is that my parents came upstairs because they heard me screaming like I was getting murdered or something, and I might as well should have been. They just played it off as like a night terror or like a nightmare or something like that. That was my 100% true, complete true. I have no idea what happened because I never saw him again. I've never seen him again. I've never seen the black shadow again. I've seen other stuff in my house, but just not particularly that, so I don't know if it was because I was tired, but I personally think, because I'm a big believer of paranormal stuff, that was the end of my first ever paranormal experience.
I have a lot of ghosts in my house now, not that anybody, but usually like my friends believe me, because I don't think anybody's really seen the stuff that I've seen.
Make sure you comment down below, and links to all of my social media will be in the description bar below as usual. I will see you all next Monday. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.